Hello and welcome back to Dungeons and Dragons: A Realm Apart. It's been a bit of a break, but we're now on Chapter 7, A Friend in Need. Joining me as usual, we have Lauren, aka Crispin Fisher.
Hello.
We have Day, aka Varys Amastasia.
Hey, how's it going?
And we have Fran, aka Kaida Itakura.
Hi everyone.
So, because it's been such a long gap between, I'm going to do a recap of where we were at the end of Chapter 6. We don't actually have any footage of Chapter 6 because there was problems with OBS and it basically corrupted it. So, unfortunately, this is basically going to be all there is of Chapter 6 other than the YouTube video that I'd done a few weeks ago with a recap. So, in the previous chapter, you all awoke from a magically induced coma in an abandoned tavern in the city of Vexham, 3 weeks after you had a battle with a skeleton by the name of Xarxis, who is the general of Sozanta's skeleton army. During those 3 weeks, Sozanta has begun her war with humans and has already taken control of Atenia's northeastern coast. Ghost 414, a warforged who treated you during this time, believes that Sozanta has Vexham in her sights and may already be setting up facilities to ease her assault on the city. One of those facilities was a manor house owned by Renata Mayfort, who has been digging up any information that she can to find information about old human gods, particularly a god named Archt, who is the god of trickery. And with this in mind, Ghost 414 sent you on a mission to search her manor and bring back any relevant information that could slow down Sozanta's advance. The mission was a success, despite some interesting stealth tactics, which I know you won't let go of me saying, but it still. You
I'll be
managed.
polite and not comment.
You managed to secure some very potentially valuable intel and resources, though, which were as follows. You found evidence that Mayfort was draining the magical essence from a juvenile green dragon skeleton, although you're not sure why. You found schematics of the machine that was being used to extract this essence. You found a map of Vexham with 3 crosses drawn on it, one in the district of Glimmerwell, one in Upper Rainfell, where the manor is located, and another in Ashbarrow. You found a strange football-sized egg of unknown origin, and an 8-foot-high skull of Archt, which is proof that God exists, and there is apparently something strong enough to kill them. Upon returning to the tavern, known as the Drunk Duck, you hand over your findings to Ghost 414, and you met an old friend, Alden Tanner, who was cloaked in shadow and missing an arm.
All right. He was missing an arm. I forgot about
Yeah. That poor sweet Tanner.
that. I know.
You now wake up in the slightly more familiar setting of the Drunk Duck's interior. Bright light of the mid-morning sun struggles to penetrate through the pub's filthy windows as Tanner's poring over a map and books that you received in the corner of the room. Before you turned in for the night, Tanner did actually have a conversation with you and explained his side of the event while you were in your coma. He advised that... I'll start again. He arrived at Coastburn. I can't even talk today. Let me start that sentence again.
You've got it. Take your time.
Right, he arrived with the full force of Coastburn, Highwater, and some smaller settlements in the area shortly after your defeat at the hands of Xarxis. Sozanta was already gone, but they managed to force a retreat from Xarxis and his troops. But unfortunately, it was a trap. While the towns and villages' fighters pushed south, the winged apes, who have also been corrupted by Sozanta's words, moved east with the rest of Sozanta's now sizable army and attacked. It seems like Naish Taj is the only loyal ape at this point. After returning home, Tanner found the entire of Coastburn razed to the ground, and with the troops he had, he arranged basically a party to get all of the refugees from the nearest by towns down into Vexham. Anyone that was strong enough to fight was brought to the Drunk Duck, which is owned by a friend of Tanner's from when he was a mercenary. And in the days since they arrived, he's been chasing down any lead he can find to hunt for Sozanta. Unfortunately, his leads quickly brought him face to face with Xarxis once again, who took Tanner's arm in the ensuing fight, and he was rescued by Ghost 414, whose team of spies have also been investigating Sozanta's sightings in Vexham. Now, fully awake, you notice there are a few things happening in the tavern. So, this is the following day, and we actually begin properly. So, what you see looking around the tavern, Ghost 414 is doing something behind the bar. You're not sure what, but he seems to be like grabbing things and pulling them over, and he's potentially looks like he's making something. You've got Tanner in the corner of the room studying the information you've brought back. You can also smell something sweet drifting from the kitchen. And then there are a pile of other books that are strewn across one of the tavern's larger tables. So what would you like to do?
I'd like to take a look at the books if I can.
Mm-hmm. Cool. So, when you get to the books, it's basically a lot of it is what you brought back with you. But there are some other books that seem to be similar sort of things.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them seem to be like manuals and like old historical books. If you can roll me an investigation check to see if you can glean anything from those books at all.
Right. Got 16. 13 plus 3.
Cool. Right. So, what you gather from these, the books that you found specifically, Sozanta is very interested, like based on the information that you've got here, she's very interested in extracting living essence from various magical creatures. A lot of these books go into like theoretical descriptions of how you could do that, and like basically some of them talk about this, like the human soul or like a creature's soul, and if there's a way to take from that, and like how magical energy is actually stored within bloodlines and things like that. You also, as well, judging from the fact that some of these books are, they're sort of considered like fringe science, like most real scientists would discredit these, but you get the feeling that there's something there, there's more to it than what meets the eye. You have a feeling that Sozanta's trying to boost her own magical ability, potentially to the level of someone like Archt. Which might explain why she's actually been trying to get Archt's own energy as well. Another thing you know as well from these books is that this could be, if done wrong, very deadly.
You also said there was some kind of smell there, right?
Yes.
Can I have a look and see if I recognize it or what it is?
Yeah, so do you want to fully go into the kitchen, or do you just want to have a look from the outside and sort of check around?
Let's go into the kitchen.
Cool. So as you go into the kitchen, there's actually a gnome in there who is currently cooking pancakes.
Oh, great.
Nice.
Are they for us?
And you can talk to them, find out if you want.
Great. Let me just quickly greet this gnome. Hello, gnome. How are you?
Oh, hello. How are you?
Oh dear.
I'm Lilsa Thistlerock. I'm the owner of the Drunk Duck.
Oh, well, it's a pleasure.
Hey, thanks. Would you like some pancakes?
I would actually. Are you serving our my friends as well?
Oh, yes. There's more than enough here for everybody. If you want to
Thank
come
you.
and take a seat.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, great. Yes, thank you for your kindness.
So, Lilsa, she's just finishing up, and it's like a big, massive, like tray of pancakes. Basically, she's been making. It looks like she's been working on these for a little while and just loading them on. So she brings them over and just puts them on the table.
Oh my god.
She comes over with some syrup and stuff as well, and like just
May
various different condiments, and puts them all on the table. And yeah, you just
Wow.
have a massive stack of pancakes.
Thank you.
So are you an acquaintance of I forgot the name.
The ghost
Tanner?
404.
414, yeah.
Tanner.
Ah, yes. Tanner and I go way back. He used to be a mercenary, you know, and he came through these parts and he helped our little organization that we have going on here. He used to provide protection to the VIPs, and we used to send him out to assess threats ahead of missions. Been friends with him for years now.
All right. So, what do you know? And forgive me for being a little straightforward here, but do you know anything about Sozanta?
We know that she's dangerous. Ghost is one of my current spies, and he's been doing all sorts of information for us, trying to find out who she is, what she's doing here. We just know, going back thousands of years now, she was a big threat to humanity. It looks like potentially she's trying again.
So she's been around before.
Oh, yes, yes. Have you not heard the stories? She's 1,000 years ago, when the merging of the realms happened, she tried to take over then. But she was defeated. We thought dead, but I guess not.
I see. So, do you know how she was defeated, or anything about the story of her defeat?
It varies from person to person, but all we know is she was killed by a human. We don't understand how, whether there's any particular. She is, as far as we're aware, mortal, so it could have been anything.
See. Is there anything that you're currently engaged in that we can help you with?
It's a good thing you mentioned that, actually. We do have something coming up. You might be best talking to Ghost or Tanner. They'd probably give you more information. They're the two that are leading this one.
All right. Well, what do you think? Should we go help out?
Of course.
Yep, definitely.
Cool. So, back in the main room, you've got Ghost behind the bar, and you've got Tanner over by the maps. Both of them look like they're doing something, so it's up to you which one you want to go.
Shall we start with Tanner?
Yeah, let's go and chat with him. It's been a while.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, cool. So, as you go over to Tanner, he is staring at a map that you've brought back. Like I say, it's got 3 marks crossed off on it. One of them is in Ashbarrow, one of them is in Upper Rainfell, and the other one is in Glimmerwell. Upper Rainfell is where you were the night before. And it looks like Tanner is looking mainly at Glimmerwell. And as he sees you approach, he goes, yeah, good to see you again. Just checking over the map here. The only place that hasn't been looked at so far is Glimmerwell. I've been to Ashbarrow, and there's nothing there. I'm not sure why that's marked, but I've scoured the entire area and there's nothing. Glimmerwell, though, we've not been there yet, so I think there might be something going on there. Can everyone just give me a history roll, please?
Yeah.
20. 17 plus 3.
Ooh.
9.
A 6.
That'll still do it. So all of you have heard about Glimmerwell before. The one thing that stands out is that it's massive crime rate for the rest of Vexham. It's the home of the city's red light district. There's a barely concealed black market there. It's basically a hotbed of criminal activity. It's one of the oldest boroughs in Vexham, and it's constantly being reworked, and people are adding like makeshift extensions to their properties, trying to hide off certain parts of this the city, like of the borough even. It's near enough in perpetual shadow at this point because of the amount of work that people have done on it, which makes it perfect for smuggling, pickpocketing, other more dangerous crimes as well. It's a very rough area of Vexham.
So where exactly in this area are we supposed to look?
Well, at the moment, we're not too sure. I do have a couple of contacts that I've reached out to, so we might be able to speak to one of them, get some information. It's pretty much the only lead we've got to go on is hope that one of my contacts can put us in contact with someone else. But I think the black market, if anything's going to happen, is where it will happen. I mean, before we go, you might want to have a quick word with Ghost as well, just to see, because he might have more information than I do. He's been busy doing whatever he is doing over there, so God knows with that machine, he's a bit all over the place sometimes.
Sure. Let's go have a chat. It's good to see you as well.
Yeah, I'm glad you're all safe. Right, so you're going over to Ghost 414 then. So
Yeah, let's go see what he's building something.
So as you go over to Ghost 414, you see that he is actually building something. What he's building seems to be a very makeshift incubation chamber for the egg that you brought back. He's got an old pickle jar, like a massive pickle jar from behind the bar with the egg inside it, and then he's put cloth napkins around that, and he's placed it on top of a folding wine rack with candles in between where the wine bottles would normally go.
Oh, that's
So-
so sweet.
Oh, this is adorable.
So yeah, that's what he's been busy doing. He's basically become obsessed with this egg now that you brought it back, and he's built this
no.
wine rack. He looks up at you, and the only thing he says to you is, "I can't talk now. I'm in the middle of building something."
Why can I imagine blooming what's it from Fallout? Is it Cogs? What's it? Oh, what's his name? Is it Cogsworth
I mean,
or whatever you call him? Just running around
Yeah.
going, "No, ma'am, no, sir, can't talk right now."
he is a very eccentric robot. He's been around for over 1,000 years now, and
oh God,
he's not entirely there sometimes.
that'd do it too. Yeah, 1,000 years or so would do it to you.
But yeah, so he is now basically, he's not listening to anything that anyone says. He is just purely focusing on making this little makeshift incubator for
I
his
think
egg.
we need to grab his attention because Tanner said that we needed to talk to him, so it's probably important.
Yeah. Or at least if he can tell us anything about Glimmerwell, or if there's anything specific we can
Yeah.
do before we actually go.
Just something, just something.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like he has to stop doing what he's doing.
Yeah, I've been trying
Unless
to
he
get
doesn't know how to
attention.
multitask.
Alright, so how are you going to try and get his attention?
I'd say tap on his shoulder, but I'll be scared I'll get swatted away or something. I'll clear your throat, go, excuse me. Does someone want to try and touch the egg? I'm sure that'd get his attention. I'm not volunteering to do that.
Varys?
I'll do it. I'll just
Oh, phew.
tap on his shoulder.
Yeah, you go for it. I mean, you can probably get out of the way quicker than me.
So, okay,
I
you
think I might
tap
have a shot.
on his shoulder. He just immediately just holds his hand up, like one finger at you, and goes, "Wait, 1 second, 1 second, 1 second," and then carries on doing what he's doing.
Oh my God, you bloody stubborn.
It's been more than a second at this point.
Yeah.
I also just say that.
Right. Okay. He reluctantly starts to stop what he's doing, but very briefly just turns around and says, "Make it quick." What? And then carries on doing what he's doing again.
Look, we hate to disturb you, but Tanner told us we need to speak to you about the slums in this city. We need to figure out what exactly is going on there and investigate it. And Tanner said that you had some insights, and we would love to hear them.
Right. He barely even stops what he's doing. He just grabs a napkin from the pile, and then with one of the burnt pieces of match that he's used to light the candles, he just quickly scribbles on the napkin and thrusts it at you, and then carries on what he's doing.
That'll do, I guess.
When
Yep,
you
do that for me.
open the napkin up, all it says on it is just a single name, and basically you can tell from this it's the name of his contact. And I do have the name somewhere. I'm just trying to find it because I can't remember. Bear with 1 second. Imagine this was seamless for a second. Why do I have my notes in such weird orders? Here we go. So the name of the person is Babbling Brook.
Babbling Brook.
So yeah, he scrolls down the napkin and just thrusts it at you. And then
Okay.
he points over back at Tanner again as if to say, right, go back to him.
Great. Let's leave him to it.
That's
Proper
what I was
fetch
going to
quest this,
suggest.
isn't it?
Rude.
Right, so you go back over to Tanner then. Tanner says, "Oh yeah, this will be the contact then. So we'll head off. We'll get a cab to the edge of Glimmerwell. Probably gonna be about an hour travel. And then once we get there, we'll have to walk because most of the cab companies around here they will not go into Glimmerwell. So you head out into the street and find a cab and hail it. And you're in there for about an hour. So if there's anything you want to discuss amongst yourselves or anything like that, you've probably got about an hour where you can have a chat with each other. It is up to you. You could sit in silence if you wanted. But eventually...
Just resting.
So yeah, if you want to just rest up, you can do. Eventually you do arrive at Glimmerwell, which looks a little bit like this when you
Might
get there.
smell bloody Dark Souls. Not Dark Souls, Bloodborne.
But yeah, it's not a nice place. Like even from just the outskirts, it looks
very ominous.
Yeah, as you sort of
Those
approach,
fires.
it's probably like maybe like 4 or 5 roads towards like the start of it. They look like pretty nice houses, but then the further you get in, it just starts to look more and more run down. To the point where the cabbie will just basically pulls over and says
Probably
that's as far
need
as it's
a
going.
way to not stand out here. So does anyone have something like a disguise kit or anything? Because, we'll probably won't look like the average person here.
Let me see.
Bear with, just gonna have a look.
So just for reference, this is how Tanner is currently dressed. Because I actually do have a picture of that, so I'll put it on screen.
Okay, yeah, that seems
Poor thing without an
generic
arm.
enough.
Oh, his arm.
Yeah, I was gonna look in my bag of holding if I had like some like cloth or something we can like makeshift a cape or whatever, but I don't.
I've got my glamour weave cloak. Can change colour and shape, like camouflage, but really wouldn't be good for the 3 of us.
I have one set of common clothes, but I can't hide my wings.
I mean, it's probably worth pointing out you would know a bit about Vexham that it is quite a multicultural place. There are lots of different races and species that live here. So you probably won't stand out in terms of being a different species. Like people wouldn't bat an eye with that sort of thing. You would probably more stand out for being adventurers, if anything. Because again, this area is very much they're looking for people who potentially have more money, like people might want to steal from, things like that. So you'd probably just want to draw less attention to yourself for what you're like. If you've got any expensive things, hide them, basically.
Yes. I do quickly change into my common clothes to hide me being a monk. Which I feel like will attract attention.
Cool.
I'm just gonna hide even further my bag of gold.
Just stuffing it
Not that I have a
right
lot
in
to
there.
begin with, but still.
Just really stuffing it down in there. Alright, so, like I say, the start of Glimmerwell, it does look fairly, like, it doesn't look really well off or anything, but it does look, like, fairly nice. The further you go in, though, it does start to look more and more dilapidated and run down. The streets start to become narrower as you go down to the point where it's barely wide enough for two people to walk together. There's buildings that are just jutting out at odd angles, almost like rows of teeth. It gets a lot darker. The sunny sky is basically replaced by the shadows of these makeshift extensions. Are you just carrying on? At the moment, Tanner's sort of like walking ahead a little bit as if he knows where this contact could be. So you're just following along with Tanner for now.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Alright, cool. So it's probably about another 10 minutes or so of walking, and the path starts to open back up again, and you start to see the black market of Glimmerwell, which is a little bit more bustling. There's tarps all over
nice.
pretty much everything to try and hide the activities that are going on within these stalls, because it's not all legitimate business. As you're walking, alright, Kada, can you roll me a sleight of hand check, please?
Oh, yeah.
My dice are just getting launched out of my rollers tonight.
6.
Bear with 1 second, so I've just lost a dice under the sofa.
Right, well, you're not getting that back.
Alright, there we go. Alright, so you got 6. Okay, so, as you're walking along, you feel a tug on your backpack. You manage to look around, like you spin around, and as you feel it, you see a hooded figure running down the alley. They're already too far to really begin chase.
Damn it.
Little shit.
But as you look through your bag, you do notice that a little bit of gold is missing. It's only 2 gold pieces. But you do also have a flyer that has been placed into your bag. And it's a flyer advertising a seedy brothel that's on the west side of the market called Dick's Halfway Inn.
What?
Ja-
So he thieves from us and advertises. Wow.
You mean as in it took 2 golds, or they left me with 2 gold?
No, they took
No, they
2
nicked
gold
2
and then gave you a
gold and
flyer.
left you with, a bloody, with a
okay.
leaflet for a dodgy club. That's not how advertising works. Someone needs to go back and tell him.
Maybe
You
it does
don't-
here.
Yeah, you steal from the proprietors
I mean,
before they even enter your establishment.
It might be that they've taken your cover charge, so that when you get there, you just show the flyer.
Yeah, but what if you don't want to go? You've got to now, haven't you?
Well, yeah, I just want my gold back.
Show up and go, I want a refund. You've not been in yet. Doesn't matter. You've already taken my money.
So, yeah, so that's
Fine,
happened.
let's go.
So you carry on walking a little bit more. And Tanner abruptly stops outside a fish stall. And this fish stall is being run by a kenku. If you're not familiar with kenkus,
Thank
they
you.
are basically crow people. So
Just it kind of looks like a pigeon.
I wouldn't
Crow,
say that
crow,
to them. So yeah, he abruptly
I
stops.
don't want to be rude.
Yeah.
Don't want to be rude, but are you a cross with a pigeon? Your mother was a... Instead of Monty Python, your mother was a hamster. Your mother was a pigeon. Oh, we're going to get our asses kicked out.
I mean, Tanner is a little bit ahead of you, so if you're saying this out loud, they probably can't hear you under the hustle and bustle of everything.
Oh, thank
but...
God for that. Tanner's just distancing himself from us, going, I'm not with them.
Alright, so the Kenku looks at Tanner, sort of does the typical like bird head tilt from side to side, like sizing him up. It says, "What are you in the market for, sir?" And Tanner replies, I hear the catch of the day is the Oblonian crab shark. The Kenku stops and looks Tanner up and down again, then looks at the three of you, does the same thing, sizes you all up, then turns back, beckons to Tanner, and then closes the shutters of the shop. And as she does this, she walks behind into an empty building, just behind the store.
All right. Let's fill up.
Yep, off we go.
I have actually lost this dice under the sofa. I cannot find it.
I told you you're not gonna get. I told you you're not gonna get it back.
Mm.
It belongs to the couch now.
Give it one of your cats to retrieve stuff.
Yeah,
Oh God.
I think I might have to.
Cause chaos.
Luckily, I've
Yeah.
got like 7 other D20s, so. Alright, anyway, so yeah, you go into this building, and the Kenku is leaning against the wall and just says, "Who sent you?"
He's right
We all
here.
just point at Hannah.
Yeah.
Like, "Brr," just the whole point.
Alright, Tanner looks round at you all, and basically just sort of like shrugs a little bit and looks back and goes, "There's been rumours of kobolds going in and out of local taverns' cellar around here. Knowing kobolds, they aren't up to anything good. The tavern we don't know the name of. That's why we've wanted to find out. We know there's something going on in this area. So, again, tilting the head side to side, checking you all out. I think I know the one you mean. It's called the Three Blades. It's just down the road there." Tanner responds, "Thank you, ma'am. We'll ship." And then completely freezes mid-sentence.
That's
Crispin, I will need you to roll me a Constitution check.
Oh dear, I'm gone. Do I have
not
to?
good.
Constitution.
Oh, here. Okay.
So this is just for
12,
Crispin.
I
Oh,
got
that is terrible. 3.
12.
12. Crispin, you also freeze
Oh, okay.
completely. You start to see flashes of the vision that you saw when Coastburn was covered in fog. You see flickering images of your dad, of Sozanta, of the townsfolk shouting elven slurs at you, people throwing rotten meat and vegetables. The rest of you are watching this. There's no motion whatsoever from Tanner or Crispin. But then you realise it's been a year to the date since that fog spread across Coastburn. Within about 30 seconds, Tanner and Crispin both unfreeze and slump forward, slightly breathlessly.
That was unpleasant.
What happened?
Are you alright?
Just froze? Did anyone else freeze?
No. Yeah, Tanner
No.
did.
That was horrible.
So what was that? What happened?
Seen, it was just something that happened a while ago, probably about a year or so ago, back in the village where I came from. It's not pleasant. I saw my dad, but it's not my dad. I don't think it was it. I've seen that before. I've had that vision before. That was so. None of you seen that neither.
So it was a vision.
No.
I don't know what it was. I don't remember.
Can
Tanner
all...
also froze. Did he also have?
Did he?
like, a
Did I was
vision?
gonna. So he. So it was only 2 of us. I don't know if he's seen what I saw.
Let's ask.
Well, before you ask, can everyone just give me a wisdom perception roll?
Yep.
Wisdom. What was it? Sorry, wisdom.
Wisdom
Perception.
perception.
Ah, thank you.
I found the
14 on my
dice.
end.
Me too.
Alright, so,
15. Oh no, 16. Sorry, 15 plus 1. Sorry,
alright, so was that 2
16.
14s and a 16?
Yarp.
Right, cool. So all of you know then that, well, I say you know, but you intuit from the information. This is directly linked to, as I say, a year ago when you had to enter the manor after the town was covered in fog and people were killing themselves in more and more gruesome ways. You all saw
Yeah, I remember
visions.
that.
You all saw visions along these lines. One thing that you do remember is when, not so much Kaida and Varys, when you left after destroying the machine, it felt like the fog had cleared from your mind as well as the area. Whereas Crispin, you still felt a little bit of a tingling at the back of your mind. You feel like this may be linked to that fog somehow. There may be like a residual thing that's happened since then.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
then that happened to Tanner as well. Right?
I mean, you can ask if you want. He's sort of like leaning against the wall now.
Is he alright? Has he got his? Is he okay?
Yeah.
To approach, yeah.
Yeah, he looks a little bit shaken, but he's back to normal for the most part.
I would like to ask him what happened to him.
Cool. So Hannah basically says, "Yeah, I had these visions. I'm sure you've all had them as well. It was about my old tribe. I'm not going to go into the full details, but something happened, and I don't know if I've ever told you this, but I was raised by orcs, and an event happened, and they all got killed, and I've tried to move past it, but that vision, it's felt too real. It's like reliving it."
Is it similar to
Holy
the vision you
shit.
had a year ago?
Yeah, it was almost the same.
People felt the same.
Yeah, we haven't. There's just always been something there niggling
So
at the back.
those
Yeah.
visions, did they really happen, or are they worst fears?
I mean, I don't know about your visions, but mine, it felt like something that was loosely based in reality. Like someone was retelling my past.
Altering it slightly.
How about you, Crispin? Did it ever happen to you, what you saw?
I was the subject of some bullying and torment back in my old village, but it wasn't from my dad. My dad protected me, but it wasn't as brutal as that was. So it felt like it was just some form of alteration. Like someone had edited it almost, someone had just changed it slightly. I mean, my dad wasn't he's not a horrible person, but he was in that vision.
Okay. We're kind of struggling what to make of this. I feel like we need some more information before we can jump to any
Definitely.
conclusions.
The fact that it's happening again, it's just there's something not right, and I'm just glad it's
Yeah.
not just me. I'm glad it's happening to someone else. It's just surreal that after a year it's come back again.
So, as you're all saying this, like Tanner's in the group with you, as you're all discussing this, she says, "Well, we've got the name of that pub now. Maybe if we go see what they're doing, that might lead to something."
Yeah,
So,
definitely.
shall we head there now?
Yeah. I want my gold back.
Yeah, we gotta get its scorers of gold back.
Alright, so you head to a pub called the Three Blades. And it is a dingy pub. This picture doesn't
What a
do
surprise.
the dinginess justice. But yeah, the smell of beer seeps into pretty much every surface. The tables are sticky. There's like a musky scent.
This is not getting many stars on TripAdvisor.
Writing my negative Yelp review right now.
Yeah.
No Michelin star for you.
Yeah, you could pretty much write it on the grime on the tables if you wanted to. It's just gross.
So you take a seat at the bar. So this is the actual like overlay, like how it looks. So You'll come up and take a seat at the bar. Mindful not to put your elbows on the bar, or else you may
Oh,
get
dear.
stuck to it.
Oh, so gross.
Ew.
And as you sit down, Tanner beckons the barkeep over and asks for 4 tankards of ale to be brought over. And he says,
I'm not even going to ask them for a clean glass because I know they'll probably just spit in it.
yeah, probably best not to.
Oh.
And he turns to the rest of you and just goes, I suggest we wait here until something happens. If we monitor the back room, chances are something will happen. So you wait, nursing your drinks. Probably about an hour passes. Nothing really. No other customers come in. Probably about another 10 minutes after that, still nothing.
That's us.
Maybe about an hour and a half since you first got in here, something does start to happen. 2 kobolds come in and they walk over to the bar. And
This sounds like a really bad start in a bad joke.
Yeah.
so 2 kobolds walk into a bar and
Yeah. Spot 4 adventurers.
so the barkeep goes over. They go to the other part of the bar and you can hear them whispering to each other. Now, do any of you know Draconic?
Yep.
Cool.
Crispin does, I think.
Yep, I do.
Cool. So if you know Draconic, give me a wisdom perception roll.
Bear with me. Do. Oh, that's a 4. Yikes.
So you
That ain't good.
it isn't great, although you do
Can I do
have
over?
yeah, you do actually have inspiration. To be fair, you've all got
I'm not gonna be
inspiration.
I'm just gonna fall over the flipping bar stool instead, aren't I? And just be like, I wasn't listening at all.
So yeah, if you want to use inspiration, you can
Pretend
do
you were drunk.
and re-roll.
Yes.
Can I do that? Can I just stumble past and slur at them? And then, like, collapse on a heap next to them and pretend I'm asleep?
I mean, you
I'm
could do,
listening.
but you wouldn't learn anything from that.
Ah.
So this is what I'm
else
saying.
can I do then
You've
instead?
got inspiration. So inspiration lets you re-roll.
Right.
So you can use your inspiration for it if
Can I
you
use
want
my
to.
inspiration, please?
Yes, you can do.
Right. Here we go. Let's try one more time now. Please be good. Oh, you son of a bitch.
What is it?
A 2.
Oh.
What was
Alright.
in this
How?
drink? What was in this drink?
Alright, so-
I'm blaming what's in the drink.
In that case, you basically have already described what happened. You come over, walk
Oh,
along,
dear
stumble
God.
around a little bit, and then just
Dear
collapse here.
Oh dear God.
The only
He
difference
drunk my
is
drink.
you're not pretending.
Yeah, I was gonna suggest that we sure we haven't been
I should
drunk.
probably go. I should probably
I
go
think
over
I've
there.
been. I
Check
think
out if
I've
she's
been.
okay.
Yes, please. I think I've been
So-
drugged.
The rest of you all feel fine. And
Yeah, I've been drugged.
while this is going on, the kobolds who are at the bar both decide to ignore you and they go and sit over here.
No, they should come and sit with me. On the floor.
So-
Come on.
Lying on the floor.
Yeah, come and sit on the floor. We'll have a merry old time. I've propped up a barrel.
So,
You can just pour it in.
do I make you roll a check to see if you have to stay on the floor?
Oh, charming. Oh, it'll be the cleanest spot on the floor when I get up because all the crap from the floor is going to be on my bloody outfit.
Do you know what? Give me a Constitution check, but
You are evil. You're grinning like a Cheshire bleeding cat.
give me
Okay.
give me a Constitution check, but you only have to beat a 5.
16.
Yeah, you get up, you're fine.
Thank God.
You feel a little bit woozy. It's probably the after effects of the vision that you
Whatever the
saw.
hell. Yeah.
You go back and sit down and join the rest of them.
Be like, do you all
So-
come here often?
So
Playing it casual.
Are you okay? We just saw you
Don't.
walk off and collapse.
I need the recipe for whatever the hell this drink is, because wow. Oh,
so
that's been my
A
day.
very efficient drink.
Yeah. Packs a punch.
So
Only got one.
while that's happening, the bartender does actually very quickly, like almost to the point where you only just catch it, goes into the back room and then comes back out again with two completely different tankards to the rest that are being used. But then he just tops them both up with ale and then takes them over to the kobolds, puts them on the table, comes back and carries on just milling around behind the bar. Can everyone give me either a wisdom perception or an intelligence investigation roll? I'll let you choose which one you would rather use.
I'll do a wisdom perception.
I'll do investigation.
I'll also do perception.
Done 15. 12 plus 3.
16 plus 4, 20.
10 plus 5, 15.
Cool. So, in that case, all of you notice, including Tanner, it's been about 10 minutes now, and the kobolds haven't even taken a single sip from their drink. They're just sat at the table talking back and forward with the tankards in front of them. As you keep watching, you notice that they take their tankards under the table, and then probably about 10 to 15 seconds after that, put them back on the table again. Put a couple of coins on the table, and then they walk out of the tavern.
What was that?
That was a bit.
Maybe have a look at the table? There's no one there.
I have a
No,
feeling they kind of like emptied the
They've put something
target,
in.
or they like emptied their glass or whatever just to
That's
say
it, yeah.
that they've been drinking.
Yeah, is the tankard's empty?
You can go there and have a look if you want.
Are we able to? The bar, he's not going to stop us, is he?
Well, it depends how much of a scene you cause, I suppose.
Shall I just stay seated there?
If anyone wants to go over there, I will say you'll need to do a sleight of hand check.
Right, let me have a
I
look.
To
would
go
like
and
to
have a
go
look.
over there.
See. 19 plus 3, I got a 22.
18 plus 4, I also got a 10, also got a 22.
Three.
A sleight of hand, you said?
Yeah.
Yes.
What is it? 10.
Cool. So, Crispin and Varys, you both go over as if you're going to use the toilets, which are over here. As you pass, you notice that the tankers are in fact empty. Kaida, you go over as well, but the bartender stops you as you go in there and just says, "Sorry, you're going to have to wait for them to finish. We've only got the 2 toilets," and then makes you go back to your seat. So, while Kaida, you haven't seen the glasses or the tankers yourself, Crispin and Varys, you have and can confirm they are both empty.
So what's that mean?
So he's got something, the tavern fella. He's got something in that back room. Drink-wise, brings it out for them. They've poured it into something under the table and then buggered off. So I think we need to ask the back. Would we be able to smell like any remains left over in the mugs, or are we best trying to get some information out of him? Or is that going to cause a riot?
I mean, you can try any of those things. It's up to you.
I think I can, right? I mean, it's not kind of spell, but
Yeah, you do have advantage on... I can't remember what type of check it is, but you do have an advantage when smelling things. I think it's wisdom perception you get advantage on.
So if we came and sat back down, maybe, and then you could be... It could look like you're going in the bathroom.
I can give it
yeah.
a big sniff.
Give it a big sniff. Yeah, we'll distract him, and you can like go and have a look.
Should I throw a wisdom perception check then?
I would say... Give me a sleight of hand check first.
Okay.
Just for the whole going to the bathroom and like trying to subtly
6.
get a smell. 6 probably wouldn't do it, but you do have inspiration as well.
Ooh. Okay, yeah, let's use it.
Alright, cool. So use your inspiration, re-roll the sleight of hand check, please.
Yep.
Oh.
I think this session is cursed.
Oh no.
I've rolled a 2.
Oh no.
So the bartender is very impatient with you now. He's like, "What are you doing? Why do you keep getting up and try to go over to that table? Like, if you don't keep messing around in here, I'm gonna have to ask you to leave."
Maybe we can just, order the same thing they had to see what it was. I mean, it looked so delicious.
Hmm.
I'm just gonna be
They
right
finished it
back.
in no time, right? So it must be good.
Alright, so you're asking. How are you asking this, actually, out of interest?
So I'm assuming we haven't bought anything yet, right?
Tanner's got you 4 pints, basically. He's just ordered a pint of ale for each of you when you first got in. So that's all
Okay.
you've had.
So I'll just order. I'll just ask. Can I maybe get a round of what those guys had just now? I mean, it must have been great. They finished it so fast.
I will ask you to give me a persuasion roll.
All of us?
No, just Varys, because
Okay.
he's talking directly to...
17 plus 2 is 19.
Awesome.
Okay, so while the bartender doesn't get annoyed with you for asking this, he does basically say to you that he's not going to be serving you what they had because they are VIP customers, and it's a special reserve that is kept only for VIP customers.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And
Is there
basically,
any way to, I don't know, become a customer like that? I'm just intrigued. It seems like high quality.
so you can't become a VIP customer straight away because you're new to this particular establishment. You have to have been coming here as a regular for quite a while, and you would have to wait for a slot to open up. Give me an insight check, actually.
8 plus 4 is 12.
Okay, so you get the very strong feeling that he is bullshitting. You're not entirely sure why, but you just feel that all of this talk about VIP stuff is nonsense, basically. And he just doesn't want to give you it. And that he's trying to keep things civil for now.
I'm looking at the layout of the back room. Is that like when he went to get those drinks, did he go to where the fireplace is?
Yeah, so basically this bit here is the back room where he went into. So the only entrance to it is that little door.
Is there a
from the bar.
way, like, considering this kind of room, it's kind of an L shape. Is there like a space where the rug is at the bottom of this screen?
No, so this room, that little kitchen area is entirely accessed by that one door there. And there is a back entrance as well.
I see, but okay. Where I suppose it's bread, or where the firewood is. There's a weird spot in the middle. Isn't that a window?
This bit here, do you mean down at the bottom? Or do you mean?
That one.
Yeah, so that would be a window. Yeah, so you got a window there, you got a door there, and then you got another door there.
So I'll have it.
I have a very sneaky thought right now.
And what would your sneaky thought be?
if you guys can keep the bartender distracted, I could try and sneak into the back room from the window.
Sure. I can talk to him.
Cool.
Dungeon Master, is that something I can do?
So I will say that you leave in the bar. There's no harm in that whatsoever. So you can just leave and come out while he's being distracted. There's nothing that you would need to roll for that. Trying
Sorry, I'm
to.
back now.
That's all right. So trying to open that window, I
Yeah.
would ask you to give me a stealth check just to make sure that you can open it quietly.
My half-assing tactics. 23.
Perfect. Yeah.
Nice.
Are you
So-
calling that questionable
Well
now?
done.
So I'm assuming your character has like a dagger, doesn't she?
Yeah, I've got I didn't swear I still have that along with my katana,
Yeah.
but I
So
still kept the dagger.
so basically, you
think,
sort of like
yes.
slide the dagger into the window and just like pop the
Yeah.
latch from inside. Manage to climb in. You are now in here. What would you like to do now you're in here?
So let me. Because I could either have a look at what's cooking at the fireplace, or that shelf across from it. Because the one next to it has like stuff on food and that, but the other has nothing.
So
Is that maybe where the drinks are kept?
so to here, basically, is this sort of where you're?
Kind of, yes.
All right. Give me a. I'm trying to remember. Is it an insight check that you've got the advantage on? I know you did have one. For smell.
Inside. No, I've got the advantage. I've got it on perception and stealth.
Okay. Give me a perception check then. So wisdom perception, and you have advantage on it because it's smelling as
Yeah.
well. What are you doing? As far as you can see, there's nothing on the table. So
Okay,
this is
I've got a
just
6 anyway.
cool. If you roll twice, and then you take the best
Okay.
one for that.
Got a 9.
9. All right. So you can't see anything. There's nothing on the table, but you can get the scent of something. You're not entirely sure what, but it leads back out the door to where the barkeep is. So whatever was here has been taken out back through the bar.
Crap.
You could probably pinpoint this smell a little bit more. So it's quite a unique scent. Like basically, if you can get honed in on it, you might be able to trace it and potentially follow the scent to wherever it goes. So sort of like a bloodhound, sort
Yeah.
of sniffing the scent out.
The way you're describing makes me think of the Witcher when it needs to follow
Yeah.
the blood scent.
Yeah, it's
of
that sort of
creatures.
thing. Yeah, it's that sort of thing where you can basically like you can hone in on this scent and then almost like visualize
Yeah.
where the scent is going. So from the room that you're in, it basically leads to that door where the barkeep's on the other side, but you can't see any further than that.
Okay. Well, I can't go out the door because it's gonna spot me.
Yeah, it'd be pretty ballsy to just walk out of the door and be like, "Hi, I've just been in your back room."
Excuse me.
So, do you want to go back out the window then and come around
Well,
and meet
yeah,
up with everyone
yeah.
then in that case? Okay, so if we say you've come round the legit way and walked back in the pub, the barkeep notices that you've come back in and looks a bit confused. He doesn't suspect anything, but he's just confused about why you left for a little while and then you've just come back in again. But he carries on with his business over where he is. He's over by this bar a little bit more, just doing some stuff.
Oh, I've
So-
got it. I've got
What?
another thing. Can anyone order anything to eat, please?
So did you find anything?
No, I didn't. I could kind of like feel a bit of a scent, but it's where he is, so it's not like I could go out the door and from the back.
While you're saying this, actually, can you give me another perception roll or do this one at advantage as well?
Yep. Got a 15. 12 plus 3.
Cool. So, as you're saying this about getting the scent in the background, you're like looking around the room a bit, you actually do start to see the Witcher sense style thing. And what you see is that the scent trail that you originally smelt. Let me just get a brush. A second. You basically can sense it coming from here to the edge of the bar, around to these tables,
Okay.
back around, and out the door.
Mm,
We should move over to that table. See what's there.
yeah. Well, I can try and fake going to the toilet. Keeping me distracted again.
I mean, I think we can just straight up move. There's nothing that binds us to this bar, right? Why would we not be able to move to another table?
Oh, yeah. That's true as well.
So do you all just want to go and sit at the table where the kobolds was at? Was that
Yeah.
Sure.
okay? So you all move over to this table again. The bartender is getting a bit suspicious now because you're just doing weird things around the bar. So he has firmly got his eyes on you at the moment. But when you sat at the table, there's nothing out of the ordinary. It's just there's 2 mugs there, and then there's a small pile of gold that have been left by the kobolds.
We should order another round of drinks, just to make sure the bartender won't throw us out.
Yeah.
So you order. Tanner calls the bartender over again. So the bartender. Whoa, I don't want to move all of that. Oh, for God's sake, I've drawn it on the wrong thing.
No.
Good grief.
Right, there we go.
If you
I'm not going to move. The
The
bartender.
scent is at the door now, so
Yeah.
you can, if you don't mess it up, you can remove that line.
So the bartender. Imagine the bartender moves over to the table. He takes away the glass that he'd put down. He takes away the gold, comes back, and then brings you 4 more pints. And then again, he's just sat there staring at you. Like, he is very suspicious of the 4 of you now.
Is there some kind of plant nearby?
From what you can see,
any-
there's nothing. It's just this pub is, other than a few like mounted animal heads on the wall, there is very little in the way of any decorations anywhere.
There's nothing for me to quickly throw the pint away. Since I don't think being intoxicated will help our investigation here.
Not really. Not at this point.
I would
Do we
say
just chuck our drinks and try to follow the Santa out where it went?
Yeah, Kate, can't you track, like, I don't know, maybe the scent of the kobolds who came in here before? Like, we're trying them, right? Not even this bar.
I guess so, yeah.
yeah, you can give me another perception check at an advantage to see if you can pick up their scent instead of the other scent.
10.
Cool. So you pick up their scent, and in a similar fashion, you can smell that they came in, went round to the bar, went up to the table, and then came back out and left through the same way. So you've honed in on their scent now. You can sense that they came in, done something at the table, and then left again.
Okay, so
Should we just casually drop the name Sozanta and see what happens?
Maybe. Dungeon Master, what do you say?
I say you can try.
What do you think? Should we?
Yeah, let's do it and see the reaction.
You can say cheers, cheers. To Sozanta.
Cheers.
Cheers.
You get no reaction.
I hope that would work.
The bartender's still just looking at you, like he's still very confused and suspicious of you, but you don't see any reaction from him at the mention of that name.
Wait, do we know the name of the Kenku who sent us here?
Oh yeah, I forgot it. Or the name that Ghost dropped on the paper, on the napkin.
Yes.
Yeah,
What
so
was it?
the name on the napkin was Babbling Brook. That is the Kenku that you met. So they're the
okay.
same.
Maybe, we can just go up to the bartender and tell him, hi, you must be confused about us. I'm not doing that yet. I'm just kind of like promoting it in the group.
You just gotta go and be really forward. Hi.
I mean, I don't feel like, being passive gets you anywhere in this part
Yeah.
of town.
Yeah.
Just gotta be blunt and straightforward with it.
Or like go the way, when I get nervous, I really get like a babbling brook or whatever.
Ah.
Yeah, we can try that.
Yeah.
Right, so the plan is you going up to the barkeep and basically just flat out.
Kind of like inserting like in a small talk kind of way.
Yeah, just dropping it into like a conversation.
Yeah.
Oh, when we get drunk, we don't have to go on like babbling brook. Like a babbling brook. Really go babbling brook. We're gonna get chugged out.
Right, so how are
Yeah,
you
I can
doing?
be
So
fine.
is it meant? Are you doing it as like a casual, like, informal sort of thing, just like to try and drop a hint
Like
to
nonchalant
him?
kinda, like, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're just
Right.
kind of like walking by and just casually dropping it here and there.
Dropping it. Poor Tanner's there going,
Kind of
what
like
the
we're talking
shit?
among ourselves and
Alright,
like
so
kind
Yeah.
of like laughing about it.
Like it's an inside joke sort of thing.
you know what, actually, while you're doing this, Tanner hasn't moved. He's just staying over here.
So
So he
Tanner's just
doesn't,
got to be able. We'll
doesn't
do
want
all of
anything
this,
to
and
do with
Tanner will
this.
turn around and go, "Yeah, I know this, 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 and this," and it's like, how you've not moved?
We're
So
just paying for our drinks.
Yeah.
So I want a performance check from everybody then, if you're trying to be
Oh,
like this
God.
sort of like
Right.
buddy
Where
sort
is
of
it?
thing
Okay.
with the barkeep.
Performance.
Oops.
Didn't.
Got a 20, 19 plus 1.
Hey, well done. I've got a 13 plus 5. I got an 18.
I have a natural 1.
Hey!
Right. So how do we play this way? So okay. This is how it goes down. So
Oh, God.
Varys, you've not quite got to the bar yet.
It's just the ladies talking among themselves.
Oh, dear.
You, Kate, and Crispin are talking to the barkeep and just casually trying to get information out of him. Saying about that you're looking for some information, you're not really sure what you're looking for. The bartender sort of not necessarily starts to open up to you, but he's starting to warm to you a little bit more. But as you do that, Varys basically comes walking in,
Oh,
trips
no.
over, and face plants the bar. And
What?
we're pretty much back
Seems
to
I've had one too many.
we're pretty much back to square one now. The barkeep just looks at this and goes, "Do you know what? Just leave, all of you. I'm getting sick of this now."
No! We were so close. What the shit do you put in that beer, man?
And when he says that, Tanner just gets up and he walks silently out. Like
Oh,
he's
dear.
Left. We lost Tanner.
Oh, God. Tanner's just like, there he goes.
We lost Tanner.
Tanner's just left. He's like, fucking imbeciles. We're like, what? We've not had a drink for a while. We've been in comas. We've not got sea legs. I'm running out of excuses.
Are you still just stood in the bar saying all of this?
I'm just gobsmacked that he just buggered
Yeah.
off.
So if you're all still in the bar, just saying this, by this point, the barkeeper's now reached behind the bar and he has pulled
Oh, I'm going. I'm gone.
a
I'm
hammer
gone. I don't want to. I
out.
don't know.
And he just rests it on the bar.
Yeah. Peace out. I'm leaving. It's like
Right.
from the old cartoons when you run and the silhouette is still there. Like the Scooby Doo when we were running with the skull above our heads.
Yeah.
It's just the Scooby Doo run.
Why does every episode seem to devolve into Scooby
Scooby-Doo.
Doo?
Hey, we are the Scooby Doo gang. We've said this.
Right,
We've
well,
said this from the start.
Exactly.
Just sticking to it.
Well, can I like be fake? Well, not really fake because that was embarrassing. Well, like go back to the bartender and like kind of sort of apologize on their behalf.
I'm gonna say no. I'm just gonna flat out say he is now at the point where
Have
he's
we
just
been
had enough
barred from
of
the
yeah.
bar?
But you guys, but I thought that went great.
So
Yeah.
as you're walking out of the tavern, Tanner is leaning up against the side of the tavern, and he's
Oh, I don't even
basically
want to
just
hear it from him.
he turns around and literally goes, "Well, that went well, didn't it?"
Like, you could be a little more helpful.
Well, actually,
Oh,
you were
Tanner.
onto something with tracking the scent. Why don't we just follow where the kobolds have gone?
That's what I've been saying.
Wah, wah. I think we got a bit giddy because it was alcohol. And we
Exactly.
got yeah. We've said multiple times before us and drink don't go very well.
I think we've had like 4 rounds, so yeah.
Yeah. We're still standing-ish. I think that's a bit impressive.
I'm like flying
Exactly.
sideways.
So yeah, you
I
know,
just got this vision of you as walking normally, and the virus is just slowly like wobbling on his wings, going sideways. People are just sort of like moving out of the way a little bit, going, "What the hell is?" It's like,
Good way of not
So-
to get attention on ourselves.
yeah,
that is pretty
Well-
much what is happening.
don't mind us.
Like you're not quite causing a scene just yet because there are other people
Yet.
that are drunk as well. Like even though
We
this
just-
is like 1 in the afternoon, there
It's
are
5
other
o'clock
people.
somewhere.
Yeah, there are other people
Perfectly
in
normal.
worse states.
Yeah.
So if anything, it actually helps you blend in a little bit more
Yeah.
because
Hey, go us.
you just look like a bunch of pissed tourists.
There you go. Right on.
We do. We must look a sight. We've got one guy with one arm. We've got a fox with us. And we've got you flying sideways. They're probably there going, yeah, bleeding tourist. It's not even 2 o'clock yet. Oh.
So yeah, now you're outside the bar.
Yes.
What would you like
Mhm.
to do?
Well, I want to try and follow the scent.
Mm-hmm.
Although I'm trying to like to keep wary of both the scent of the kobold and then the other smell that we
Oh,
picked up.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, what I will do is how do we do this? So I'd probably say you can only follow one scent,
Mm.
but you will still have your advantage, or you can try to focus on both scents, but you would lose your advantage on that roll.
Mm. I mean, I could try and to see follow both if they lead in the same way on the same path. Like if they're going separate, then obviously we would pick and choose. So what do I need to roll to follow kind of them both?
I would say roll for a perception check again, but you won't get advantage on this one because you're trying to focus on 2 separate scents at the same time.
Okay. So, like, if I get a number, because I have an advantage of +3.
Well, you'd still have that. So your advantage is basically you can roll a dice twice and take the best result.
Okay.
So for this one, you would only roll once and just have to take that
Got
result.
a 7.
So is that with your +3?
Yes.
Well? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's enough. So you can trace. It's very difficult to keep track of it because there's a lot of other scents going on around here, but you do manage to keep hold of it. You start to follow it, you end up down some sort of like back alleys and things like that, and both of the scents do seem to be pretty much side by side, as you would expect. It seems like you're getting the scent of the kobold with like the sort of the subtle scent of whatever this other thing is. You still can't quite place what the smell actually is. You just know there's something unusual. But as you keep going, you eventually, it takes you to what looks like pretty much an abandoned house down one of these dark alleyways. There's a door there, and the scent seems to go beyond the door for both of these things. As you're approaching the door, Tanner, I'm assuming the rest of you like just following Kaida as she's sniffing along to get the scent.
Yes.
Right, okay, so Tanner's sort of behind with the rest of you. He freezes up again. And I'm going to have to ask Crispin to give me a constitution roll as well.
Oh, with me. Constitution.
Yes.
Yes. 13.
Okay, so you don't quite freeze up this time, but you do feel like almost like a sharp tug at the back of your head. Tanner completely freezes up though, and again, it's probably about 20 to 30 seconds that he's frozen at the back of the pack. So while you manage to avoid having the full experience that he's currently having, you do also feel that something has basically tugged at you.
Is it worth doing oh my gosh. So I'm not having a full-on vision, I just had like a tug-like sensation.
Yeah,
Like
basically, it felt like if someone had just grabbed the back of your head and just yanked it, basically.
First of all, you two didn't touch the back of my head, did you?
No.
Right. And then obviously Tanner's just there, isn't he? He's just stopped.
Yeah.
The shit. Waving in front of Tanner's face, nothing. So can I do a check? What for surroundings?
Yeah,
Just like,
yeah. You can...
what would be best?
Wisdom, insight, or investigation. Pardon me.
Let me try.
Burping
I'll
now.
try investigation. I got 14.
Okay, so there's nothing around you.
There's nothing. There's no one here. It's just
No,
us.
it's basically just an alleyway. Most of the houses down this row, it looks like they've been abandoned for a few years. No one's coming up and down here. You can't quite see to the tops of the buildings, but you don't feel like there's no one looking at you or watching you or anything like that.
I don't get a sense of anyone there.
No. As you're looking around, Tanner sort of comes back to himself again, and similarly to before, he's like a bit out of breath from what's just happened.
Did you have another vision?
Yeah. It's the same vision again.
Before, did you feel anything like someone like tapping the back of your head or just vision blur? Anything?
No,
Did you feel
just
anything.
it felt like just stepping through from one room into another.
Huh.
Like 1 minute I'm here, the next minute I'm there.
Okay, those are really, really weird. Something's got to be around here that's triggering
Yeah.
it. Something's definitely around here triggering it. The thing is, there's no one down here at the moment, but we could be close to whatever it is that's... It's just strange that I didn't get it that time. I just had the sensation of someone, like, yank in the back of my head, like they were trying to pull me into it.
Well,
Maybe.
as I've said with Kaida's smelling, you are close to where the scent ends. Basically, it stops at a doorway that's probably
Ah.
maybe like 2 or 3 doors down for where you and Tanner both had this happen.
Hmm. I think we're gonna have to start going knocking on a door then.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right, so we can't see because the buildings are so high up, so is this the only point of entry then? It's just the door, the front door.
No, it
As
is. I can just fly.
Very true, actually, yeah. Do you want to have a scope up above just in case?
Sure, why not?
Although, would
I-
it draw any attention to us if somebody suddenly starts flying?
Well, I mean, it was said that it's a pretty mixed race town, so I
Yeah,
wouldn't
we
see
should
why.
be all right.
All
If they
right.
say anything, we'll just say he's stretching his wings and call
yeah,
and say,
and
"How dare
it
you?"
is pretty much
It's a sobering
empty.
exercise.
It is pretty
Yeah.
much empty down this
He
alleyway.
wants to get some fresh air.
So
Punch them.
you fly up. There are some windows dotted around. That most of them look like they're boarded up, but when you look into them, it looks like they're all separate building, like separate structures. They're not. It's almost as if like each floor is its own separate entity, and there's probably like a shared stairwell somewhere to get to those ones, but they're not linked to the
So
the
they
bottom
like
Oh,
floor.
so it's like apartments.
flats and yeah,
Yeah,
like
it's
apartments, yeah.
that sort of thing, yeah, where there's probably a shared stairwell to get into each of these rooms above it, but they're not part of the same. Like they probably were owned by different people and businesses and things like that.
Do I get the sense that where Crispin and Kate are standing is the actual entrance to the stairwell, or that they're somewhere else?
There are windows either side of the doorway where the smell ends, which would imply that it's leading into an actual like a storefront or a house rather than a stairwell. But the windows have been from the inside completely papered over, and it's basically impossible to see through them without breaking the window.
Is there are there any windows that aren't boarded up or covered that I can either go through or peek into?
As you get higher up, there's probably a couple that as you look through, they are basically it's just like a big empty space. So the you get the impression again, like I say, it might have been more of a shop rather than flats or houses or whatever, but it's just a big open space with nothing in it. And if you use that same logic for the buildings underneath, then the room that you're waiting outside where the smell ends, it probably is a similar sort of thing where it's an open space room.
Yeah, so I guess it's best if we just try knocking on the door or find it open in another way, because I could probably try and infiltrate, but I don't think that will be the best way to go about this. I'll
Mm,
tell that to you guys.
I feel like the only way is the door.
Hmm. Can't see. Yeah, it looks like it might have to be through the front. And just hope for the best.
I don't remember. Was Crispin good with lock picks?
Bear with me. Just having a quick look through. Can't see anything. Bear with me. Hmm. No. Just checking. I haven't. I've got sleight. Oh, sorry. I've got sleight of hand, but
I think you do have
where am I?
lockpicks.
I'm trying to look.
It'll be in your gear. I'm sure you did
Oh, for God's
have.
sake, Lauren.
I'm sure you did have lockpicks.
That's what I thought I did. Bear with. Chest. I've got a chest as well. Let me look in the chest. I haven't. No. Which is
Oh.
really weird. I thought I did.
Yeah, I thought
Huh.
like you had some equipment or something.
Yeah, I did. I've got my rope, tinderbox, torch, water skin, my rope, mystic mouse.
Oh yeah,
and
by the way, you can't smell any cheese around here.
I
Just
know. I've
FYI.
Oh,
Dang it.
Well, there were a bunch of cheese wheels outside the pub. Like
Yeah,
I
it was
might
going
have
mad
snuck
in the
one
pub.
in.
Yeah.
I'm not saying anything. Might have snuck one. And I've got a mirror, a steel mirror. I haven't. I really thought I did.
Well,
Huh.
if anyone
Very
does
odd.
want to try and lockpick it, I'll say do a sleight of hand check at a disadvantage.
I'll try
To
sleight of
see if you
hand
can just
then.
find like a bit of metal on the floor or something that you can maybe do it if you
I'll
wanted
try.
to try and
I
lockpick it.
got an 18.
Was
for
that the
sleight of
Got
hand.
a 6.
right? So roll again and take the worst that you get.
Both of us?
Yeah.
but it's
Yeah.
okay.
Okay, sleight of hand.
I got a 20.
Got a
Wow.
15.
Alright, so the worst out of those four is a 6, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, because this is quite an old lock, I'll say that that's enough that you can
Yeah. Just falls
Go.
away.
yeah, you can find like a little shard of something on the floor that you managed to get in and just like click it enough that it opens
Oh,
up.
brilliant.
So as the door opens up, you see a room.
Whoa!
Oh.
I don't see anything yet.
Someone forgot spring cleaning.
Ew.
And the first thing that strikes you is there's a
Oh
machine
crap.
that looks fairly similar
Yeah, I was
to something that you've seen
Oh.
before. And there are two kobolds both standing there
Oh, brilliant.
looking at the
Hi.
machine as if to make sure that it is working. They haven't spotted you yet as
Oh,
you
thank God.
come into the room.
Hmm.
But
Are these
yeah,
the same? Oh well. Let's figure this out. So
I'll
they've
say
not noticed us
yes.
yet.
You probably have got a good enough view of them to see that these are the two kobolds from the
From earlier.
tavern.
Right. Is there anything we can hide behind?
Well, there's like
Because
this
it's all
big old pile of wood that we have
Yeah.
in front of us.
some of us be able to fit behind that.
Because, like, by looking at the layout, we could have probably snuck from the place at the bottom, but I think it's a window and it was boarded up or something, wasn't it?
This bit here,
At the bottom, yes.
yeah. So that's one of the boarded up windows.
Just from my point of view, can I see if the machine looks like it's ready to be activated, or whether it is already activated?
Yeah, it is already working. Like it's making a fair amount of noise. Like not deafening amounts of noise, but enough that it would probably hide footsteps. And
We need to get rid of it.
let me have a investigation roll as well from everybody. So if everyone can give me an investigation roll to see if you can see a bit more about this
Sure.
machine.
Investigation here.
Right.
Got a 9, 6 plus 3.
15, 10 plus 5.
16 plus 2, 18.
Woo!
So this machine doesn't match anything that you've seen before. Like looking through the schematics of the various machines you found last time, this doesn't look like it's doing a similar function to any of those machines. But one thing you can see that does have a very similar layout is the original machine that you found in the manor a year ago today had sort of compartments for vials of liquid.
Mm-hmm.
This one has the same sort of setup on the front with different vials of liquids. The only difference is rather than pumping out into the air, this one just looks like it's pumping straight into the ground.
Oh God.
Hmm.
That must be what's causing the visions. It's less efficient because it's not into the air. It might occasionally come up, and that's why you and Tanner are freezing.
Mm. Oh God! So it's that bloody thing.
So then, if there was no puddle of wetness under the table, that means the whatever it was into those drinks, they fed it into the ground.
So while you're
What
doing
the
this,
hell did he?
Tanner has managed to sneak over here.
Bloody Tanner.
Jesus! Losing one arm's
These
not hindered him at all.
these two kobolds haven't noticed anything still.
Hmm.
I've just done rolls for all of them. They're still oblivious to everything that's going on. But they're very focused on this machine.
And we're not gonna get anything accomplished by staying
We
hidden.
won't be doing it. Oh God!
So I'm thinking if I use my let me check because I don't remember my entangle spell. Is that the one with the roots? Let me see because I don't remember. Yes. Can they, because they sprout from the ground, can they still sprout from the ground if I use my spell to keep them like
Yes,
buzzed
yeah.
still?
So it will still work on the ground. So basically that gives difficult movement, doesn't it? So
Yeah.
yeah, while restrained, they have to do strength checks. It covers 20-foot square. So yeah, you could do that underneath them, and it would potentially hold them in place. But then it would alert them. They would know that something's happening. But you could do that to restrain them.
Well, yeah. Because I don't want to kill them just yet. Do I just like click the cast button on my sheet?
Yeah. So with entangle, yeah, it's a concentration spell. So basically,
It's a first level, I think. Yeah, I don't have level 2 for this.
yeah. So basically, it does just happen, but then whoever's in it is restrained and then has to roll spell save DC to move, I think, from that. So yeah, you can cast it if you want. Like I say, this will be a noticeable thing. So if you do it and they get free, that will start combat potentially.
Honestly, they're just kobolds. How bad can it be, right? I don't think they're that strong.
Well, how bad could that be? One bloody skeleton. We were in a coma for several weeks. I don't know what to do because there's like, I don't think there's any point in trying to be sneaky because there's not a way we can try and sneak up on them.
So while you're talking, Tanner's got like a little crossbow, like a hand crossbow, and he's just aiming it at the one that's closest to him, and he looks over at you as if to say he's got sights on this one.
Oh, he's got the shot.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's not doing anything, he's just giving you the heads up that if you want to call it, he can take the shot on this one.
Well, in this case, I can use my spell, and if they break free, it can shoot them one. And then it's gonna be 3 against 1.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Okay, I'm gonna cast my spell then.
Cool. So you're going to do that, and then they have to. So as you do that, yeah, roots start to grow out of the ground and sort of like wrap around their feet. They are pretty surprised by this scenario, and they try to spin around to see what's going on.
We can get closer since they're blocked.
One of them is completely entangled and can't move. The other one, this one down at the bottom, he does notice and manages to break free. And we're going to go into combat now, so I need everyone to roll for initiative.
Okay. Initiative, where is it?
Ooh.
Oop, bear
I
with.
can't find it.
It's way in the top. It's also your dexterity modifier.
Oh, okay. So I need to roll dexterity then.
Yes, it would have the same effect.
Okay. Thank you. It's 9 plus 1, 10.
Same, I got
Mine
a
is
10. Oh, sorry.
15 plus 4, 19.
Yeah, and 9 plus 1, 10 as well.
Okay, so 2 10s. 19, did you say, Dave, for yours?
Yes.
Okay. Tanner's was 9. Okay, so Kobold 1 goes first, because he got a 20. And he is going to try and break free, because he's the one that's still entangled.
Well, he's the one that Tanya's got a shot at, so...
Yeah, and he's still stuck, so he can't move. So his turn is basically wasted. It is now Day's turn.
So which one is the is the free one?
The one in front of us.
Yeah,
That
that's
was free?
Kobold 2.
Yeah.
So yeah, the bottom one is
How
free.
far away is that one roughly from me?
This isn't a massive room. I'd probably say he's about 2 meters away.
Oh, okay, then I'll
Like-
fly over.
Like basically, this is probably about the size of like a small house, really. So it's not massive.
I'm assuming it is it is within 60 feet of me.
Yeah, it would be.
Yeah, okay. So I would like to fly over and make an unarmed strike.
Cool. Right. So armor class on a kobold is 12.
Roll twice then because I rolled 2. That is an 18, and it is a 14.
Cool. So yeah, you hit with both of them then.
That is a total of 7 plus 5 is 12 bludgeoning.
All right. So do you want to kill this kobold or do you want to knock him out?
I want to knock him out.
Right. Fine. So he is knocked out. So that is done. I'll grey him out a little bit so we know. So he's unconscious.
Just move it into the next room so he's not in the way.
To be honest, I am going to say that combat is now over already because this remaining kobold is trapped completely. He's got
cool.
someone pointing a crossbow at him, and he's just watched Varys fly in and punch his friend unconscious. So he is basically he's having a bad day, and he has just basically given up.
Yeah, he's
now.
not. Yeah.
So, so he doesn't speak English or Common. He only speaks Draconic, and he's basically just making some horrific noises. But Crispin, you can understand him, and he's
Yeah.
basically saying, "Please don't hurt me. I was paid. That's all. I'm not. I don't want to. Just let me go, please. I was paid to do this. I got told to pick up something from the tavern, put it in this machine, and then leave. We just had to make sure the machine was working. Please, just let me go."
Have I just quickly translated all of that for him?
Basically, yeah, you were like an interpreter. So as he's saying all that, you're saying it back to the rest of
Back
the
in
people.
The rest. So
yeah.
it's like basically, dude doesn't know anything. Was paid to do this, to put the liquid in, and that was that. He doesn't know anything else.
Well, I'm
And
assuming he knows how to deactivate this machine if he knows how to put the stuff in.
Bear with me. I'm translating back. Do I need to roll for anything?
No, you can just say it back to him. You speak the language, so
Just translating back in
Yeah.
Draconian, then going. Would you know how to turn it off then?
So he looks very, very scared when you mention this. He's like, I do,
Okay.
but if I turn it off, they will kill me. And if I
Who's-
don't turn it off, I'm assuming
Okay.
you will kill me.
Yeah. And
Probably.
we're here. Yeah, and we're here right now, so you wouldn't even be able to hide or anything like that if you know we're here now. So can you turn it off? But before you turn it off, who's they?
Yeah. You
Who's
can, if you want, like not us to kill you. You can tell us everything you know about this and the people who paid you.
I don't know names. It was all done anonymously through letters. They are bad people. If I tell you any more, they won't make it a clean death for me. I'll turn the machine off, and on the promise, you don't follow me, and I leave this city, and I never come back.
I like
I
those.
think we need him
Yeah.
for one more thing.
Yeah.
I think we need to take him with us to the bartender. That's obviously where he got this stuff.
That's true, yeah.
After that, we can let him go.
I'd like to have these letters if he hasn't destroyed them. Because maybe they contain information that can help us.
Maybe.
So, the letters that he has, they are destroyed. Basically, he burns them once he's got them. So he takes the information that he needs, memorizes it. Him and his companion, who's still unconscious, they burn the evidence, basically. So that's why it's all done by letter. This is what he's explaining in Draconic. Basically, it's all done by letters so that they can burn the evidence afterwards, and there's no actual physical trace.
And I'm assuming he's already burned the one that he got paid for this.
Yeah. And then when it comes to payment, it's all done in a similar sort of thing where money is left, similar to what you saw in the tavern where they left the money on the table. Money's sort of left in drop locations, so they'll go and collect their payment once the job has been confirmed to have been done. And so, do you want him to turn the machine off? I'm guessing.
Yes.
Cool. So he goes over and he fiddles with the controls, pulls a couple of levers, and you just hear it slowly start to whir back down again, and then come to a complete halt.
We inspect the machine briefly before we go to the bartender.
Yeah, you can have a look around it. If you want to have a look at it, I'd say give me another investigation roll just to see if you notice anything about it.
Sure. Got an 8. 5 plus 3.
Alright, so one thing that you do notice is that the vials on the machine, they're different to the vials on the original machine. So instead of it being things like the blood of Sozanta, mind flayer essence, and things like that, this one only has 2 separate vials on it. One of them is labeled as green dragon blood, and the other one just says essence of Acht on it.
I guess we're gonna take them.
They're the only 2 vials. You can take them if you would like, but they are now both empty. They have been fully drained into the machine. But you can take the actual vials.
Well, yeah, maybe they have some residue or something.
Yeah, so you can take them if you would like to. That's not a problem.
Yes.
Cool. But other than that, there's not really much you can see. So it's those 2 are the only 2 vials on it. Everything's been drained out of them into the machine, and the machine has basically been doing something with it and pumping it into the ground.
We should probably destroy the machine.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe this guy will leave town, but then whoever is making and feeding these machines will find another kobold to power it up again. Can't power up a machine if there's no machine.
Exactly.
So at first glance,
makes sense.
At first glance, you can't see anything. There's no obvious self-destruct button or anything on it. It looks like it's made of very solid metal, so it would be quite difficult to do any damage with conventional weapons or things like that. But it's not to say it's indestructible.
Can I have a look and see if I can see any weak spots?
Yeah, give me an investigation roll to see if you can spot anything.
Oof, that would be a 9.
Okay, so damaging this from any sort of magical perspective will potentially lead to an explosion that could cause structural damage to this property.
Okay.
But you do notice that there are probably maybe 4 or 5 points on the machine where you could take piping off that would essentially make it non-working. The only problem is if that piping was to then be refitted again, it would be back up and running. So your two main options are either steal some of the piping off of it and hope that it wasn't a custom job and they can't just replace the piping further down the line, or detonate this thing, possibly collapsing the building on yourselves.
I was all for taking stuff, but I don't want someone coming back. The thing is, I'd rather not have a building fall around my ears today, and plus, if there's any other occupants in the building.
Maybe there's a way to disable it without necessarily exploding it. I can do cold damage, which I think is unlikely to explode it since, it doesn't heat it up.
Give me a perception check.
16 plus 4, 20.
Alright, so you know then that even cold damage will cause an explosion on this. It's not so much the type of magical energy, it's just that the magical energy being used in this is literally from a god, and it is so potent that combining that with any other magical essence is what's going to cause the explosion. So the explosion wouldn't just be like a fire explosion, it would basically be like a force of nature just expanding outwards to destroy.
I don't think we can explode it then. I don't want that on my conscience. But we should probably at least disable the parts that we can disable.
Yeah.
So,
I guess we can take the pipes then.
Yeah, I won't make you roll for taking the pipes because you've already done the investigation roll, so you've learned how to do it. So you can just take the pipes. Like I say, there's 4 connecting pipes that you think if you take those ones, they seem to be at a level of craftsmanship that not the average person could recreate. They're like solid metal and they're bent in certain ways that it would be very hard to replicate. So you think that those would be the best ones to take to stand the highest chance of not being fixed.
Alright, let's do that then.
Cool. So yeah, you take those pipes. The machine's already off, so nothing happens when you remove them. And for good measure, you could probably potentially bend some of the levers and stuff like that as well, if you have enough strength, just so they can't be pulled.
What are we best doing for that then?
Give me a straight up
Just to make
strength
sure.
roll, if you want to do that.
Look.
Okay.
Have a look. For God's sake, strength. 16 I got for that one.
Cool. So yeah, you can bend some of the levers that are controlling the thing,
Yeah.
so that they basically get jammed in position, and it gives another potential chance for people to have to replace them.
Good.
So yeah. Cool. So what do you want to do now? You've managed to disable the machine for now at least. You've got a kobold with you who's passed out, and then another one who's just sort of cowering next to the machine, waiting to know his outcome, whether you're going to let him go or what's going to happen.
I don't
think
wanna-
we should
I don't want to
take him
kill
with
him.
us.
Yeah.
Take him with us, head back to the tavern, and then once it's all sorted out, he can go.
Cool. Okay, so are you just going to head back to the tavern now then?
Yeah.
Alright, cool. All right, so as you leave the building, there's a very different sight to what was there when you went in. In this crowded, like tightly packed little corridor of an alley that you're in, there's about, you estimate 30 to 40 armed guards,
Wow.
all standing there in full plate armor,
Ugh.
helmets, everything. Tanner turns to you and says, "Right, stay by me. I've got this. All right." And he walks forwards to the what looks like the leader, and says, "Hello. It's unusual to see so many fine soldiers here in Glimmerwell. How can I help you, Captain?" The captain ignores Tanner completely. In fact, I've got a picture of the captain here. Completely ignores Tanner, looks at the three of you, and said, "The three of you are under arrest on suspicion of murder. Can everyone just give me a quick perception check, please?"
12.
17, 14 plus 3.
18 plus 1, 19.
You all notice none of these guards are human.
Did somebody kill the bartender then?
So Tanner carries on talking to the captain, says, "Please, you've got to believe us here. There's been some sort of mistake. We're simple trap." And he freezes again.
Oh, perfect timing.
Crispin,
Okay.
please roll a Constitution roll.
Alright.
All of us?
No, just Crispin.
Okay.
8 plus 4, 12.
You also freeze
Oh, great.
and start seeing the same visions you saw earlier today. The captain then turns to face Tanner and walks towards him, says, "There's no mistake, Alden Tanner. You've been a thorn in our side for too long, and it's time to remove you." And with one quick motion, pulls a blade out and slides it into Tanner's ribs.
No!
Tanner slumps to the floor, still face frozen, mid-sentence. The captain then throws the dagger on the floor in front of the party. "Put them in irons. They're wanted for murder for the merchant Babbling Brook and Captain Alden Tanner of the Coastburn Town Guard."
Bastard.
Wait, you are
He then-
arresting us.
As he
Absolute
says that,
bastard.
you are rushed. There's probably about 3 guards each grabbing your arms, pulling you back, putting you on irons. The town guard walks up to you and whispers, "Don't worry, we won't execute you. Sozanta still has plans, especially for you," as they turn her head and look directly at Crispin. And
Piece of
that
shit.
is where we end today's session.
No!
Yay.
No! I object to this. Absolutely not.
If I could flip
Yeah.
my desk, I would, but it's new and heavy.
Exactly.
You dick.
Welcome back
Oh
to
my-
D&D.
You absolute jerk. Oh my god, Tanner, no, why would you do that? Why would you do that?
I didn't do anything. The captain of the guard did it.
Bloody dungeon master taking liberties. Bloody
DM
dungeon master. Yeah,
Can we
bloody
just-
DM. Can we resurrect him? F this.
Revolt or something.
Yeah, what the hell?
DM responsibilities.
Yeah, DM
No.
gives zero shits here.
It's not me.
Wow.
It's this NPC I created. It's
Yeah.
totally not me.
It's not me. I'm not the character. I didn't
What? Me?
do it.
No.
I'm just the storyteller.
Oh, F off. You git.
So, yeah.
No.
You can't. That's evil. Oh my
Well.
god, poor sweet Tanner. Bloody hell, the guy lost his arm and all, and now you just straight up. Oh, rib him. Flipping heck. Oh.
Yeah.
No. Not happy.
I
No.
mean,
No. Mm-mm. We revolt. We revolt against the dungeon master.
So there might not be an episode 8 of this because the rest of the party have decided they don't want to play anymore. But for if we do have an episode 8, please remember to come back and check it out here on Twitch.
It's just the three of us causing chaos.
Yeah.
The screen might as well be on fire.
Exactly.
But yeah, that is it for episode 7, A Friend in Need. There were clues there in the name that something might happen.
This is inexcusable.
Yeah, precisely. Yeah. How dare you?
Questionable as well.
I mean, I could give you a clue about what's happening next session by giving you the title.
Mm.
If I can remember where I
Yes.
was.
If you can remember the bleeding title, you can't remember it, can you?
I've got them saved on a document somewhere. I'm just getting the document up. So the next one
Good
is
to know. Good to know.
the next one is called drum
Dun,
roll.
dun,
A Break in the Chains.
Ooh.
Ooh. Now I've got Fleetwood Mac in my head.
So yeah,
Mm.
come back whenever we do the next one.
Don't say it like that.
What? Like what?
Well,
Whenever we
the Scooby gang
return.
is gonna revolt, so yeah.
Yeah.
So once I've settled everybody back down and they agree to come back for the next episode, we will be back.
Uh-huh.
It'll be live here on Twitch. VODs
Well,
will
we
go up.
request higher pay then, if you
Yeah.
want us to come back.
Yeah, because we demand.
I mean, higher pay of
Some
0 is still 0.
Dick.
But anyway, thank you for stopping by. Thank you for joining. And thank you to the 3 now revolting
Mm,
players that we have in Lauren, Day, and Fran.
yeah.
It's been good to come back and do this again, even though I have just
Yeah,
destroyed you all.
definitely.
Yeah.
I
Happy
missed
it's back. Aw.
So yeah, that is all. And goodbye from me. I'll let everyone else say goodbye as well. And then we shall
Hi,
leave.
everyone.
Goodbye,
Hey,
everyone.
have a lovely Mother's Day. Bye.
Goodbye.